me start off by saying it's a privilege to be here and be able to speak to this group for the second year in a row. Last year I was a scholarship recipient. This year I'm back and I'm going to present on Millennials. And it's good to be back in Tampa too. Last time I was back in Tampa was this past January. Oh, I don't know. Sorry. Might need that. Okay, so last time I was here was this past January, and I came with a team of mine. We had a very specific project to do. It was a tall task, and the odds were against us. But in the end, we came out on top, and we succeeded. So it has nothing to do with work. If you didn't know, Clemson won the national championship. So it's a great year to be a Tiger, and it's a good year to be here at BevTech back in Tampa. Okay, so back to the presentation. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, today I'm going to talk about millennials. It's a sensitive subject, and it's something that I'm an SME on. It has nothing to do with beverages, nothing at all, because I don't know that much about beverages. I'm here to leverage that knowledge from you guys. But today, I'm going to talk about millennials. If you look at the agenda, I'm going to give you a brief overview of my background. Then we'll talk more about millennials. And then I'm going to we're going to dissect millennials, and we'll talk about the challenges we face specifically. More specifically in the job market. And then we'll talk about the term entry level, which is my least favorite term of all time. I hate it. Very deceiving. And then we'll talk about how to overcome the obstacles. Things that I've learned as a millennial, a blueprint basically. This part's going to be like, if I could write a letter to myself 2 years ago, things I want to hear that would help me set myself up to succeed. And at the end, we're going to reflect and we're going to digest everything we say. Okay, my background. I made it very obvious. I'm a graduate of Clemson University, packaging science major. So when I was at Clemson, I did a trio of internships, and they were all within beverages. The first was with the company Southeastern Container, which I was an injection and blow mold engineer. Then I moved on and worked for Coca-Cola Consolidated in Charlotte as a project engineering intern. And I went from there and I packed my things. I went up north to work for PepsiCo and their global R&D function. With Bill Eaton's group, many of you know. What's up, Bill? And then from there, I took a full-time job offer with Coca-Cola as a packaging innovation engineer. So when I take a step back and I look at my career, it was great because I got to see the beverage industry from 3 different perspectives. The first as a supplier with Southeastern Container, the second with a bottler with Coca-Cola Consolidated, and the third was kind of a corporate engineering viewpoint with PepsiCo and now with Coca-Cola. So very fortunate. So now that we've talked a little bit about my background and my internship career, things like that, let's talk about my generation, millennials. So the first thing is, I have to admit, I am a millennial, and I'm not afraid to say that. And there's things that I do every single day that make this extremely obvious. Very, very obvious. Okay, so the first thing, I have a Snapchat. Who here has a Snapchat? Anybody? Love it. I love Snapchatting. I love posting pictures and videos about my life. The worst part is, my mom follows me on Snapchat. So I'll be at the bar with my friends sending all these pictures, and she'll text me at 2 a.m. and say, "Is everything okay? You okay?" I'm like, "Mom, just don't follow me." So millennials, we also love Netflix, okay? I'm a sucker for a good Netflix series. If you like Breaking Bad, come find me this week and we'll talk. Millennials are obsessed with Apple. iPads, Macs, iPhone, I have it all. Love iPhones. And I'm an above average typer on my iPhone. I can rail out a lot of words per minute. I've seen you older generations, the baby boomers, I see you chicken peck your way through these paragraphs and these sentences, and I pity you. We're quick typers, so write that down. The last thing is, this is going to make somebody mad. When I order my pizza, I use the Domino's Pizza app. And sometimes when I'm feeling really frisky, really millennially, I'll watch it bake virtually on my iPhone or my iPad. In fact, the most millennial thing I've ever done in my life was one time I watched my 10-inch sausage pepperoni bake virtually on my iWatch. That felt good. That made me feel like a millennial. So when you take a step back and somebody from a baby boomer or another generation sees this millennial Snapchatting himself on his iWatch watching a pizza bake, it's easy to see how they're like, who are these people? They look at us, they're like, what? Who are you? They're confused. We're the generation. We like things quick, simple, easy. We like things convenient. And so they mislabel us. They misdefine us. So what I want to do right now is I want to define millennials. I have two definitions for you. And I'll let you decide which one you like best. The first is very, very formal, from dictionary.com. A term used to refer to the generation born from 1980 onward, brought up using digital technology and mass media. The children are baby boomers, also called Generation Y. Very straightforward and proper. The second definition is my favorite, and it comes from urbandictionary.com. Does anybody use that? It's a far more reputable source. It's my dictionary of choice. And it defines a millennial as a special little snowflake. Born between 1982 and 1994, this generation is something special. His mom and dad and their fifth grade teacher, Miss Frantowski, told them so. Plus, they have a whole shelf of participation trophies sitting at home, so it has to be true. So after reading this, you can see people misdefine millennials. Quick, simple, easy. That's how we like it. But I can tell you one thing that's not quick, simple, and easy. That's finding a job, especially right out of school. That's a struggle I went through. And so what are the top challenges we face? Limited experience is the first one that comes to mind. We have internships, co-ops, but we don't have that deep dive knowledge that you need to come in and really hit it right off the bat. Student loans, huge burden, the suffocating amount, $33,000 is the average student debt. That's a lot of money, especially when you come out and you don't have a penny to your name. I've lived this. Extremely competitive job market. We're competing not only with this group of unemployed millennials, but also this more advanced, more trained people that have more experience. So it's tough. We're at a disadvantage. And all of this results in a lot of stress and pressure from family, friends, and colleagues. Look at the unemployment statistics. Millennials take up a big portion of that pie. A big portion. Oops. Sorry. Can we zoom out a little bit? Is that possible? Yeah, okay. And looking at the statistic, it reminds me how hard it was to find a job coming out of school. The nights I spent searching on the internet, constantly feeling underqualified for this job. And as I go down the list, I'd say, no, not that one, not that one. But every now and then there'd be a little glimmer of hope, a light that came through the cracks, a diamond in the rough. And it was this term entry level. It's extremely deceiving. So I'd see entry level, and I'd get all excited. I'd say, oh man, this is it. I'd get this creepy little grin on my face like this little kid. I'd be like, yes, this is it. This is the one I'm qualified for. But then I'd start scrolling down, and I'd read the job description. And it would say, 3 to 4 years of full-time experience, Lean Six Sigma black belt, MBA from Ivy League school. And I'm sitting there, and my jaw drops because I'm like this cute little baby with red glasses. I'm like, what? I don't have any of this. It's not fair. But I'm here today to tell you, there's a way to beat the system. There's a blueprint that I've kind of put together that I want to share that has helped me succeed. And it's not revolutionary by any means. But it's 4 things that, like I said, if I could write a letter to myself a year ago, 2 years ago, I'd want to know this because it's relevant and it's practical. So the 4 things are to fortify your resume, build your network, learn the business cold, and be resilient. So let's talk about fortifying your resume. Internships and co-ops go a long, long way. And they're the reason that I got into my position. It helps build your network in the industry. Get your foot in the door, you start meeting people. Plus, when you have this internship experience, you can start telling work-related stories in interviews. So instead of telling about that time you saved that puppy from drowning in the lake, you can have real like work knowledge. You can share stories. And that helps you deliver results, show them you've done well. Format your resume in a way that represents your personal brand and your identity. So things like social clubs, academic clubs, throw those on there because it helps you stand out in that pile. they get a big pile of applications, pull out your resume because you're different. Okay, so building your network is the next one. That old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, that is specifically for millennials because we don't know anything usually. So it's all about who you know. And you need to establish your mentors. And a great example of that is Chloe and I's relationship. When I was at Southeastern Container, I sent Chloe a cold email saying, hey, I'm Zen Kramer. I'm interested in Coca-Cola Consolidated. Tell me a little bit more about your internship program. That's how I got that. I wouldn't be here if I didn't send that email. And she's been a huge mentor for me in my career. Keep in touch and send those emails, those follow-up phone calls, not soliciting anything, just asking, how's everything going? You know, it's great. You need people that will advocate for you in the room when you're not there. And then use LinkedIn. I used to think LinkedIn was a corny app for guys with cell phone holsters. But it's cool. It's a great app, and it's revolutionized the job industry. So use it and build a sexy profile. Use it. Learning the business cold is a big one because, like our last presenter, he had all these acronyms. When I go to a new company or had another internship, every company had a different list of all these acronyms. And it's important that you learn these acronyms. So what I would usually do is I'd print out a list of all the acronyms and study them. So that way, when my manager stood up in a meeting, he said, hey, I need a GTTB. Does everybody know what that means? Go to the bathroom. You need to learn that. Learn the acronyms, because it's important so you know what people are talking about. Sharpen the stall is something I do. I turn off Netflix 30 minutes every night. Walter White will be there when I get back. And I do some industry research, see what's going on. What are the buzzwords? Where's the industry going? And that way you can have meaningful conversations with people. And then look at the big picture of how your work affects other groups. That way when you talk to somebody higher in the food chain, you can have conversations about vision. Where's the company going? Not your small little portion, but the big picture. Resilience is the last but most important because as a millennial, the system is designed for you to fail. You're going to be told no, you're not going to get that job offer all the time. And when you get in the industry, even when you get that job, you hit a steep learning curve. It's really important that you're resilient. Michael Jordan's big quote is, I've failed and failed and failed over and over again, but that is why I succeed. And I love that quote because it's so relevant. When you fail in life, it's all about picking yourself back up. And when you learn that, you stop fearing failure because you know that you're going to fail, and it's all about how you get back up. So failure is a gift in disguise, and life will hand you lemons. That's the saying. So always make lemonade. I want to recommend Minute Maid, but any lemonade will do. I promise. That was a joke. Reflection. This is it. Wrapping it all up, as a millennial, the odds are against you. People think it's quick, simple, and easy, but we have challenges every single day. And the biggest one is probably getting a job. And so I've kind of laid out a blueprint that won't guarantee you're going to get that job or make that career jump, but it'll put you in a good place to succeed. So fortify your resume, build your network, learn the business cold, and then the last one is being resilient. That's most important. So I want to close by saying thank you for your time today. It's been a lot of fun to present to you, and I want to kind of lead a movement of bringing some younger workers in here to ISBT. I think we benefit from a new perspective. So Chloe and I are kind of heading that together, but I look forward to many more BevTechs, and let's have some fun this week.